We're back with some more Rust updates from this past week, and we're jumping straight into the holiday season. The Scientist AI is getting reworked over on staging, and the Rust Christmas event will be starting tomorrow, December 16th, and running until Force Wipe January 2nd. I hope you've all been good boys and girls this year, because otherwise Santa is going to drop some coal in your stockings. And I don't think you're going to get any Christmas presents this year if you've been door camping too much. Another cool feature of the Christmas event in Rust, if you've never experienced it, is the gingerbread dungeons. These are going to spawn around the map similar to the doors during Halloween, and when you enter them, you will be inside a dungeon with a bunch of gingerbread men and a bunch of loot. There's a bunch of work being done on something called indirect instancing, which from my knowledge of a quick Google search means switching tasks over from the CPU to the GPU, which in turn will help with Rust performance. And some cleaning up has been done to the TMP text when opening and closing the main menu and inventory, which should reduce the garbage collecting allocations. There's been a few bug fixes, and one of them was the last item in the Dropbox not getting sucked out by conveyors. A bug with fish traps not working after a server restart if you had fish in them before the server saved has been fixed. And there were some issues with the Chinese lantern, which have been resolved. And the new car radio will save its current station through a server restart or when reconnecting to a server. The buffer has been increased on the copy-paste command, which should allow you to copy larger bases. And a new admin command has been added, allowing you to set the charge of a battery, and if you really wanted to, you could set it way above the maximum amount. Another quality of life feature for admins is for the invisible cube and wall. We've got a cube right here, you can see we can't go forward, and I've got ent kill bound to a key, which you can now use on these objects if you remember where you put them. And then the command that allows you to delete user-generated content like signs now accepts player IDs as well as names and does not require them to be online, which is extremely useful. The eye sculptures keep on improving, and one new feature will be the ability to smooth out the edges of it by splashing water on it. I think I needed to carve something out for this to actually work. And then there is a third additive feature which allows you to place ice back. This is currently only applied to the ice pick right now over on staging. And you can see the remove is red, the smooth is blue, and then the add is green. These things just keep on getting cooler and cooler, and the TTP is going to be insane. Some major changes are coming to the refrigerator, which is now an IO entity requiring 5 power, and a food spoilage system is in the works, probably for raw meat and perishable foods to be stored in these refrigerators, which could potentially be introducing the Tier 2 cooking system that's been a Hack Week project for a while. In my previous video, we talked about a major change coming to bags and beds that I wasn't able to showcase yet, but now it is on staging. You can see this bag is not mine. I cannot pick it up. I cannot interact with it until I'm authorized on a TC, and then I can pick it up regardless of if it's mine or not. And finally, a much anticipated feature for the catapult is now in the aux2 staging branch. You can press and hold E to mount it and fling yourself, and there's also ragdoll physics. I can't believe it. The changes to the horses are also on the aux2 staging branch, which is public if you want to take a look at it for yourself. There's new animations, the feel of it is different, and you can also move across the new terrain much easier, although it does kill your horse currently, so be a little careful, don't hurt the horses. You'll also need to watch out for big falls and collisions, because you'll now ragdoll on the horse as well. You can also slip and slide off the side of a cliff, and you can see the horse also ragdolls right there, which is pretty funny. They be standing up real goofy and walking on the rocks like they own the place. It also seems like the battering ram has had some changes. It feels like it moves much slower now, and when you press the use button, it takes a little bit to charge up before it smacks into a wall. The back door also feels like it drops a little slower, and in combination, this should make it less OP, which was a major concern the last time that we took a look at it. It still stops at 20 HP, leaving the wall at 1 hit, and now has a cooldown before you can repair it, still costing 225 HQM. Keep in mind, these are still in development and the crafting costs haven't even been set up for them yet, so this might change in the future. The ballista has finally been textured and it looks very nice. If you haven't seen these yet, they can shoot 4 different types of arrows, one of them being an incendiary bolt that explodes, and 3 other bolts that serve different purposes, mostly for piercing damage. We've got some major changes coming to the scientists, which are getting their AI reworked. These changes are still in early development and haven't been pushed to the main staging branch yet, but a few of them include making them more fair to fight and being able to catch them off guard. You'll now be able to leave their vision, catch them off guard by flanking them, and surprise them, and they'll have senses to guess where you are instead of ESP. They'll no longer be able to rush you and shoot while sprinting. They'll have to slow down and then readjust if you're not directly in front of them. And they'll now have memory, which means when they're guessing where you're at after you've left their vision, they'll base it off of where they previously saw you at. and a big list of other changes coming to the Scientist rework that we'll take a look at once it gets merged to the staging branch. And if you want to check these changes out for yourself over on the staging or the Aux2 branch, click the link in the description to head over to Pine Hosting to get yourself a private server and use code DRIZZA to get 30% off your first month. Servers like these are where I get the opportunity to create this content for you every single week, and by using the link in the description, you'll also support the channel. If you would like to support the channel in another way, consider clicking the join button and becoming a channel member. But that's all I got for you guys today. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a dislike if you didn't, and I'll catch you in the next one.